Welcome, guys. Hope you all signed in. We actually inserted the link to sign in on the chat. If not, you can always use your mobile device to go ahead and scan the QR code. But let's go ahead and get started. First off, we're going to talk about announcements. E-board elections are coming up, also upcoming events, professional events. Blockchain research is going to be recruiting. So Johans will go ahead and talk about that. And then after that, we'll get to our lovely Jackie Myers about her LinkedIn presentation, which we're super excited for. So e-board elections are coming up. It's going to be March 16 for the executive board. You must run for a full academic year, fall and spring semester. The positions are available is president, vice president, financial officer, VP of operations and communications. Also, if you're going to be running for our directors of a research team, we prefer you to run for the full academic school year, but if by any chance you can't, then still reach out to us. We'll go ahead and work out some things and we'll make sure that you at least have a chance to be able to run. And also there's going to be a College of Business career fair. The reason why Jackie's having her presentation today is to get you guys ready for this Thursday. Please RSVP. I will post up the link up on Slack so you guys can RSVP. You can sign up for one-on-one sessions or group sessions with employers. This event will be taken online through Handshake. Just in case if you don't know what Handshake is, it's basically like the Indeed for Cal Poly that you can actually apply for any kind of internships or jobs, or even, try to see what else is out there so that you can actually get ready for, your dream career. Also, this is great for those who are graduating or looking for summer internships. And off to Austin, professional organization events.
So I'll make this really brief, just so we can have more time focusing on LinkedIn. Real quick, ISSA has a webinar next Wednesday, February 17th. Or actually, sorry, yeah, next Wednesday. My dates are all wrong. Yeah, next Wednesday at 11:45 a.m. To 1 p.m. PST. It's why InfoSec needs to get on it, and it's by Terry Gold, founder of D6 Research. And then moving on to ISACA LA, another webinar, which happens to be tonight actually, at 5 p.m. It's also free for students. So if you want to go, please do attend. It's about SolarWinds threat landscape overview. And then it's by Luke B. Emmerich, Director, Risk Advisor, and Risk Advisor Services for RSM US LLPP. After this, we'll be moving on to Johans for blockchain.
All right, what's up, everyone? Happy Tuesday. So this is a quick, brief introduction into blockchain research. So as a quick intro, basically the objective of our team is to learn about blockchain, kind of how it arose, on the underlying processes related to it, and then really like the modern applications that blockchain has really allowed. So the end goal actually for this semester, the spring semester, is to build out a blockchain server, so blockchain nodes. Hopefully we can recruit enough people to actually make that into reality. And then if that's possible, the one aspect that we are for sure going to do, whether we use a blockchain server on the cloud or one that we make ourselves, is basically building a web application to run on it. So that's kind of like the major premise of basically our project. A little bit about me. So I'm an incoming analyst for BlackRock when their Aladdin client services section. I'm also an incoming full-time technical consultant at Microsoft. So that's gonna be my full-time in the spring. I'm actually the director of blockchain research. I'm a double major in CIS and marketing. And I'm actually really interested in trying to build out the nodes, hopefully with Samuel, which is our cybersecurity and forensics director. Yeah. Next slide, please. So then our project lead, David, if you want to briefly go over this, or I can definitely go over it really quick.
I can go over it. So for our blockchain project, we are looking for several positions.
Yeah, let's do this slide.
All right. So for our research project, we are looking at digital identity. So one of the biggest issues, well, to be honest, always, but in recent times, is your digital identity and protecting it from would-be attackers, state agents, whatever it may be. So we're looking at creating a blockchain web application that stores user accounts and passwords, and possibly down the road, private keys, whether they be PGP or SSH keys. The requirements of our project are fairly straightforward: a willingness to learn and a respectful attitude. And for the experience, you will gain a greater proficiency in programming languages applicable to blockchain, such as Solidity. You will learn how to use blockchain nodes and build a full website application. You won't learn how to trade cryptocurrency. So all of you Wall Street bets people, this probably isn't for you. But if you're down with it, please still join. Open positions, we are looking for a back-end developer where you will get a deeper understanding of infrastructure as a service. So if any of you have used Microsoft Azure, AWS, we will be looking at that as our backbone for our blockchain services. We'll be using a lot of web APIs. We're still in the process of hashing out the final details, and you will also be learning along with us on how to develop decentralized applications. For the front-end developers, it's fairly straightforward. You'll learn object-oriented programming principles, design patterns, and you will learn how to develop a good user interfaces, obviously HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And for our math wizards here, you will learn how to combine numerous math topics, combinatorics, cryptography, Markov chains, etc., and learn how to interpret, replicate, and develop encryption models and also simulations. This is our current team. We're always looking for more. Feel free to join. And
yeah, and you can oh, sorry, if you can go back on the previous slide. But Jacob and Beecher, if you want to introduce yourself, just say what maybe got you interested in the project.
Hi, I'm Jacob. So I'm a CIS and with a minor in finance. I actually decided to go and pursue becoming a blockchain developer. It's something that interests me a lot. I've been interested in the cryptocurrency market since like last year, really, when I got into Bitcoin and stuff. And I've put a lot of time into it and just love talking about it. So if anyone has questions about it, I might have an answer for you already.
Hi, I'm David Beecher. So I was interested in this project because our math department actually does not have a cryptography program. And cryptology sits at the interesting intersection between applied and pure math. So I think it'd be fun to pull in sort of an interdisciplinary resource pool to see how many people can, essentially how many math people from the math department can learn and develop a budding like cryptology program here. How many CS people would be interested in learning from that, and vice versa, how many math people would be interested in learning the practical implementations of the research that they're looking into.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna drop the links. So one of the links is actually for a dedicated Discord. So we try to talk about all news and anything related to blockchain that we find interesting. And then there's also a QR code. So if you have a phone right now, you can definitely use the QR code that's up on the screen. But I also dropped the link for the forum as well. Thank you for your time, everyone. Back to you guys at FAST.
Thanks, Johannes. And now, the moment we've been waiting for, building your digital brand with Jackie Myers.
Oh my gosh. Hi, guys. I'm so excited. Thank you. So I'll be brief. Hopefully we can get through all the material. Also, this is super informal. So if at any time you have questions, please put it in the chat. Hopefully we can leave time for some Q&A. So next slide, please. A little bit about me. I am a senior. It's my final year. I am a CIS major focusing on application development. I joined FAST as a business division lead under the cybersecurity research team when Greg was directing it. I'm also the treasurer, so I'm the girl you go to for all your finances. In addition to that, I'm a STEM scholar and I'm becoming an incoming intern with Avanade in their business and tech integration team as a business analyst. I love doing competition, and technology and business are something that's super important to me. And I love to be able to share that because my success is your success. So if I can help you be successful in any way, then I am one happy gal. So go ahead into the next slide. A few disclaimers I do want to talk about. If you are on LinkedIn or going to create a LinkedIn and a lot of people share their resume, be mindful of what you're sharing on your resume. If you're posting it to LinkedIn, you might want to redact your cell phone or address. LinkedIn doesn't need that information. Also, just because my LinkedIn profile is one way, that way may not work for you. So LinkedIn is tailored to the type of person that's using it for. So I don't think LinkedIn is a one size fits all. My goal is just to help you adapt and create your brand as it pertains to you. Then we'll go over a few key things and then hopefully some Q&A at the end. So next slide. So how many of us have felt like we couldn't do something because we weren't qualified? This is known as imposter syndrome. This can be identified as a collection of feelings of inadequacy or persist despite success. I just want you to know that so many people don't create LinkedIn, myself included. I was shying away from LinkedIn because I didn't think I was qualified to make posts or to put myself out there. But I'm encouraging you, if you want to create a LinkedIn, if you want to get yourself out there, if you want to network, especially because we're in a pandemic, it's really hard to do these things in person right now. So use tech to your motive and to what is applicable to you. So if you feel like you're an imposter, don't be, you're not. I'm 99.9% sure that everyone here is capable of doing whatever you set your mind to as long as you try. So that is, we're gonna move to the next slide. So here's a few LinkedIn stats. So as of this year, LinkedIn is gonna be turning 18 years old. It's the oldest social networking site. Remote jobs have increased. LinkedIn has 722 million members, and 3 people are hired from LinkedIn every minute. As you may heard in Slack, this is how Galen got one of his jobs via LinkedIn. He's currently at GPL. Amber Nicole, our Madam President, she got her Tesla internship through LinkedIn. There are 55 million companies on LinkedIn, and over 90% of recruiters look at LinkedIn for potential candidates. And over 90% of hiring managers will look at your social media before offering you an interview. So be careful what you're posting. And this goes for not only just LinkedIn, but Instagram and Facebook too. If you don't want it to be shared, make sure your stuff is private. And then since COVID, LinkedIn has seen a surge of growth for 2 reasons. One, to expand their professional networks as well as make career moves. Thank you. So why is LinkedIn so important? Why am I such a fan of it? Number one, it has a powerful job board. You can look up and filter all kinds of jobs. You are building your online brand, which is very important, especially in today's era. I think digital is the future. It's kind of where we're going. You can research companies and its employees. So if you want to work at, like Sam said earlier, Neuralink, you can go on LinkedIn, look at who's working there, see what kind of qualifications they have. Super easy, super fun. In addition to networking with people all over the world, I have close to 700 connections, and they're from India to the UK. I love it. And then you can demonstrate not only your knowledge, but your credibility, any leadership experience. Also, if you are a CPP student, which most of us are, I believe, you have access to LinkedIn Learning, which is so powerful in helping you learn in whatever. LinkedIn Learning has a plethora of things. In my programming class, we're using LinkedIn Learning to talk about app dev security. You can use those classes and apply that, write about it, learn from it, and make a post about it if you'd like to. And so the next slide. So free versus premium. There is a paid version of LinkedIn, it's LinkedIn Premium. I currently operate with just a free account, but we're gonna go into the basics. You don't have to pay for LinkedIn if you don't want to. I believe there's a free 30-day trial of LinkedIn Premium that you can try out if you're curious about it. I will make sure to go over it for you. So the free account, you can build a network of any size, no limit on the number of people you have. You can connect with anyone on LinkedIn. You can create a professional and detailed LinkedIn profile. You can give and receive an unlimited number of recommendations, and you can join or create up to 50 LinkedIn groups. And you can request 5 introductions at one time. And you can perform an unlimited number of searches for LinkedIn members in your extended network. Now, next slide, we're going to go into LinkedIn Premium. There's 4. There's a recruiter, the career, the business, and the sales navigator. Sales navigator is like a tool to help like analyze sales. Career is like if you're trying to pivot or look more into what type of career industry you might be interested into. Recruiters, this is the one that a lot of the HR recruiters and hiring managers use to help look for qualified candidates. And then business, if you're trying to get insights or statistics on your business. So we'll go over that in a little bit more detail on the next slide. So with a premium account, you can send a message to anyone on LinkedIn, regardless if he or she is in your extended network. Right now, if you don't know them, you may not be able to write them a message. You have to connect with them and then send them a message. So the premium allows you to do that. You can also allow and send more introductions than the basic account allows, and you can view more LinkedIn information of people not in your LinkedIn network when you have advanced searches. So you get just a little bit more than you do with the free account, and you can see exactly who's viewed your profile and how they arrived at your profile. You can kind of see this on the free account, but you don't know exactly, especially if they have it in private mode. A lot of times I catch people looking at my profile, but it says anonymous. If I had the premium account, I could see who exactly they are, and then they can perform a reference check on someone. So we'll go ahead and, so the LinkedIn profile checklist, we're gonna go over from everything from the photo to recommendation. On the right-hand side, this is my current LinkedIn profile as of yesterday. You take the time and look at it. I will make sure to drop the link in the profile for you all. So next slide. Okay, so we're going to talk about breaking down your LinkedIn profile. So for one, your photo doesn't have to be a fancy professional camera. You can do this with a plain background, a clean background. As long as you have a cell phone and decent lighting, you can take a good LinkedIn profile. Wear a nice blouse, make sure that you smile. You can get creative with, but professional with your LinkedIn header. That's the banner. For your headline, this is to tell people what you're excited about now and the things that you're wanting to do in the future. So when someone's looking at your LinkedIn profile, the first thing they're going to see is your photo and your headline. So those are the 2 things that you should really focus on, because that's going to grab someone's attention. You have 7 seconds to make an impression on someone. So this will kind of give you an idea of how to do it. For the about section, talk about what gets you up in the morning, what motivates you. If you're really into crypto and blockchain, I know a lot of us here are. You can talk about that. Talk about what you're skilled at, what you're looking forward to next. You can list conferences and competitions you have attended in a tasteful way. And then for job experience, you can list the jobs you did, even if you were part-time. Talk about what you accomplished, and even include photos or videos from work. I will put a slight disclaimer: if you are going to post things from work, be careful of what you're sharing in photos. Like if you're working at a badge, secure locations. Social engineering is kind of becoming a big thing right now. So just be careful if you're going to post a picture that you don't have any identifiable information that could get you in trouble. Organization. So this is where we talk about any clubs or school outside or inside what you're doing. So for example, if you're in FAST, whether you are active or not, if you're in FAST, put it on your LinkedIn. Our goal is to help you get out there and stand out from a job. If someone is both 2 people are CIS majors and they both have the same degree, same everything, but one person's in an organization, but the other one's not, 9 out of 10 times that person that was outside, involved in outside curricular activities gets the job over the person who doesn't. So make sure you're involved with your organizations even if it's not fast, you can do MISA, you can do SWIFT. There's some amazing clubs out here. And then talk about what you did in each organization. If you're part of the research teams, talk about what you're doing. If you're doing ITC, wonderful competition with MISA, talk about the case study that you did without giving away anything personal. And then education. So start out with college, list the educational experience if you had. If you were in college at the university level, I really don't think you need to put high school. To me, like if you're in college, it's kind of given that you graduated high school. So on my profile, you'll just see my community college and then Cal Poly. Unless you are coming straight from high school to a university, then you can keep your high school. It just kind of depends. Any summer programs that you attend, volunteer experience. Even if you didn't pay for a job, be sure to list it because this also counts as volunteering, being volunteering clubs. If you don't put in organizations, you could also put it in volunteer experience because most times recruiters and employers will see this as valuable paid work. And then your skills and expertise. So list at least 5 skills, and then your connections can endorse you and you can endorse your connections. So for example, if I want to endorse Professor Chin because he's an amazing professor and he is just really skilled at public speaking, I'm going to endorse Professor Chin, as I hope he would do for me if there's something that I did that he thought I excelled in. And you all have skills, whether you realize it or not. You don't have to be a proficient programmer or a proficient data analyst. You can just say, hey, I'm well enough to do, I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat too. Where would a FAST member list? I would put it in organizations or experience. For me, I'm on eBoard, so I put it under, to me, being on eBoard like a job, so I put it under my experience. This is debatable. So depending on where you're at in your life, I'd have to look at it. Projects, I think I have a slide about that. I'll get back to you, David. Next. Yes, projects. I'm like, there's a file, like I had a feeling there's a file called projects. So hopefully this will answer your question in a second. Honors and awards. If you won the Dean's List, if you won an award, FAST, we do give out awards. So if you get an award or a certificate from us, put it there. Don't be shy about the recognition you did. If you've done any type of public speaking, you can put that there too. Courses, you can actually list the courses that you did. I don't put all my courses, like I'm not going to put English 101, but if I'm in client side or service side web development, I'm going to put that because I want my employer to see all the technical classes I'm taking, as well as some of the core business classes that I think will help enhance me as a person. Projects, yes. So CPP is all about learn by doing. So if you're in a class project, if you're leading a class project, whatever you're doing, if there's time, I'll go through my LinkedIn to show you where I put courses. I will show you, Ferris. I got you. Not a problem. If you led a team, so if you're a director of a research team, this is your time to shine. If you're a lead in a research team, your time to shine. Recommendations. Ask your managers, your professors, or your classmates, or those who you work closely with to write a recommendation for you. This will give not only you credibility, but also the person writing it. For example, if I had someone like Wheeler or Amber or someone that I thought I admired, I would love to hear from them because my profile is going to be like, hey, this wonderful dude, he knows a lot. He's endorsing her, so she must be good. But it's also, if you give, you should also receive. So make sure you keep that in mind too. Go ahead, Miss Amber. So making your LinkedIn profile complete. I realize I'm going a lot faster than I needed to, but I will try to slow down too. So edit your LinkedIn URL and content. So most of you who log on to LinkedIn, it's usually like www.linkedin.com/ like partial your name and then a little bit of like random numbers. So you can actually go into LinkedIn and customize your own LinkedIn URL. I put mine on my resume. Also, if someone wants your, like, it's really easy for me to remember mine. It's like, oh, what's your LinkedIn? Oh, it's Jacqueline.A-Myers, you know? So under here, I don't know, on the left-hand side, there says edit public profile URL. That's where you can do it. Also on the bottom, I show you how you can customize it. So anyone can do this. And then you can edit your visibility. You can show people on Google how to, like, when they look your name up, how you want to be seen. You can make sure that you have your, let me check the chat, your profile to be protected if you wanted to. How long does Cal Poly's LinkedIn Premium go for? I don't know, as Cal Poly students, if we get LinkedIn Learning as long as we're enrolled at CPP. Premium is 30 days, but I think that's regardless. And someone, Professor Chin or someone could correct me, I don't believe we get premium as a Cal Poly student, but you do get LinkedIn Learning as a Cal Poly student. So let me know if that answered your question. I hope I did. Okay, let me know. All right, go ahead, Miss Amber. All right, so LinkedIn stats. So use the open to work feature if you're looking for work. You can customize this. For example, mine is in software engineering project, intern, business analyst roles, information technology. So use this. Only recruiters see this. So if you're trying to work, if you currently work at Google, but you want to switch to Amazon, unless no one will see it from your job unless they're a recruiter. Also, utilize your dashboard and know how your profile is doing. So usually you do really well on LinkedIn if you can get your profile to all-star status. That's actually really easy. And then you can see who's viewed your profile, how many post views, and then how many times your profile appeared in searches. So this is currently, I think last week, apparently I was in 83 people's searches, which is really cool. And then you can also see who viewed your profile. Now, since I have the free account, I don't get the whole access to it, but all it will show me is like, there's been 166 profile views in the last 90 days. I've been up 47% since last week. This is usually if I'm really on it or not. It kind of just depends. And then you can see like different trends. Now, the premium will show you a whole lot more, but the free account will only show you a little bit. Yes, let me see the chat. I have two monitors, so forgive me, I'm going back and forth. There is an education section on LinkedIn. Yes, I do agree with you, Johan. There is an education section on LinkedIn that I would also recommend listing upper division courses. I know LinkedIn has like AWS certs and things that you can take to enhance your profile. All right, go ahead. So yes, we have a lot of time, so I'm going to go over some resume basics and then I can go ahead and share my screen and I'll look on LinkedIn and show you guys where everything's at. And if you have any questions, you can pop off of your mic. So I actually learned this tip through Pyra, so I will definitely give them a shout out for this. Action verbs. So I kind of picked a few that I thought would apply to my tech people. So a lot of us are in teams or research teams where we've done something. So action verbs like I helped, you can use facilitated, clarified, coached. If you say I accomplished, you can say achieved, pioneered, spearheaded, I manage. These are different action verbs that you can use. I will make sure that we have the slides for you so that way if you want to go back and look at them. Yes, Professor Chen from the Career Center. Yes. Thank you so much for that resource. Thank you. So depending on how you're doing your resume, you can go ahead and use these words. I use these words on my resume all the time. Then one more. So resume basics. So I always say, I've seen a lot of people save their resumes and send it as a doc. Always save and send your resume to recruiters or anywhere you're applying as a PDF. It's just a good rule of thumb. I also say be careful how you label your resume. A lot of recruiters told me they don't like it when I've been guilty where my resume will say 2020 resume or Jackie's resume 2020, a lot of recruiters say, hey, just maybe take out the resume part or the 2020. Maybe you can just say like your name, like David_Brown resume. That way it doesn't tell them how long you've updated your profile or your resume. So be careful of that. And then if you have a GPA that's 3.0 or higher, list it. If you don't, emphasize your major, because you might be an engineering major, and it's not saying it's possible, it's not hard, but it is hard to be an engineer and get a 3.0. So sometimes the major speaks for itself over the GPA, but proceed with caution with that. Also, if you don't, if you don't just lift your, sorry, I'm getting all nervous, but if you are in CIS, you have different divisions. So make sure you emphasize, not only are you a CIS major, but maybe you're doing the business division, or maybe you're doing be it business intelligence or cybersecurity or app dev. So make sure that you list those, because yes, we fall under the business administration umbrella, but you're a CIS major, but you're emphasizing something specific. So make sure you highlight that on your resume, especially at the job fair this Thursday. If you have a job experience, list it. If not, you can highlight your education. So if you have no job experience and you never worked and you just did school, then I would really focus on your major, the projects you're doing, things you're doing in clubs if you're part of FAST. If you do have job experience, then make sure you list that. For me, since I'm in school, I have my education because I want them to see, hey, I'm getting my bachelor's, and then I list my job experience. And then get involved in clubs, use experience, especially leadership experience. We have, even though it's online, we can all digitally get together. So make sure that you're getting involved in clubs and you're being a part of events and you network. I always ask for people's LinkedIn when I meet them, or even as it's digitally, I'm like, I would love to connect with you and learn more about you. So that's how you can always build your brand too. And then have your peers view your resume. And let me catch up with the chat. Yes, I do agree. You can, yes, Johan, I do see what you're saying. I read somewhere that it shouldn't be above 3.7, so I haven't. Yes, Jason, I've actually read this. Some people don't like, it's very weird to me, but some people don't like the fact that if you have a 3.7 or higher, not sure why. If you can just keep it at your major, or just say, hey, I have above a 3.0, and if they really do ask, then maybe that's when you can get into details of what type of major. But if you have a 3.7, I appraise you. So yes. And then 3.5 plus being in clubs and other orgs do sell pretty distant. Yes, 110%. I remember I couldn't take the job because I would had to relocate. I didn't want to. I was offered a job with a company back in, I forget when it was. Something to do with like I think it was Microsoft, some division of Microsoft, but they loved me because I was a part of clubs and I was doing a lot and I had a 3.0, but I didn't want to relocate, so I said no. Or a 2.2 and doing, yes, I agree, 100% K. You don't have to have I'm not saying give up on your GPA, please study in school, I would like you all to do well, but yes, you can be an engineer and have a 2.2 and do fairly well. So just depends on where you're at. Also, just don't list it. Yes, I agree. Also, have a catch-all document and tailor your resume. So there, for example, I used to work at Payless and I was a sound engineer, but I don't have it on my resume and I don't have it on my LinkedIn. But I do have a catch-all document where I list every job I've ever done. I've gone to LinkedIn and I've looked at my job and I'm like, okay, what did I do? Because sometimes you have to put you fill out your resume and you're like, oh, what did I do when I worked this retail job? You kind of forget. So I always re-look up my jobs and see all the things I did. And then depending on the company, I tailor my resume to match the company. I don't just have a basic resume that I give out. I have one in case like someone says like right then and there they need a resume, then I do have one on deck. However, I would say tailor your resume to the job that you're looking for. And then let me just catch up with the chat. Yes. I got you. Yes. All right, cool. Just want to make sure I caught up with the chat. And then the next slide is just if you have any questions. Yes, Big Fours care about a lot about GPAs. Yes, Professor Chin did say that. There's a lot of people at KPMG. I believe we have someone here who works at KPMG. I don't know if he left. Oh, I do see him. So if you want to talk, Josh Ang, I'm talking about you. So if you want to talk about that, you can definitely. I don't know their qualifications, but I know you do work at one of them. Yes. In the chat, we talked about the resume worksheet. This is, we'll let you know 4 steps to prioritize a packed resume, and you can fill us out. The link is in the chat, so if this will help you, thank you, Professor Chen, and list that. Education, objectives, see page 2. Got it, boss. All right. Yes, action verbs. This is beautiful. Yes, activities, awards. Yes, I would highly recommend you guys save this. We'll definitely make sure we get those links for you in the chat and in Slack. But yes, these are wonderful, wonderful action verbs. They are key. So this applies to everyone. It does not matter if you are tech or not. This apply. I see things like developed and negotiated. If you are in you cannot graduate Cal Poly Pomona without being in a research team or a group project. So you can talk about how you communicated and you debriefed and all these wonderful words. So we'll make sure you guys actually have that to your advantage. If Amber will allow me, I will go ahead and share my screen really quick. I will share this one. Give me a second. You're gonna see my desktop because, oh wait, wrong one. Let me pull up my LinkedIn for you guys. I'm working off of so many monitors and sometimes I get confused as to which one I share it to. But I will go ahead and share it just so you guys have a brief idea. And then please take yourself off mute or mention anything if you have any questions for me. Someone asked about where you can put your courses in the LinkedIn profile. It's under the accomplishment sections, and I have taken way more classes than this, but I've only listed the ones that I think are relevant, or the ones that I think employers would like. I do list
if something
awards.
were to impact your scale where you couldn't even log onto your computer.
Yes. Do you have I was like, if you have a question, please let me know. And then organizations. I love SAS and NISA both, so sometimes I'll pop into NISA meetings, and then projects that I've done with AWS and database. And then this is where so you guys can endorse people, and then some volunteer experience. If you volunteered at CSAP, which I know a good chunk of you have, list it, make sure you put it. It's really good to have. This is what I was talking about, pictures. When we did cybersecurity fair, I did put this under Cal Poly just to kind of highlight the things I've done. If you are if you're trying to get your LinkedIn together, I will help you. I will do my best to work with you guys and get your LinkedIn ready. So if you want me to look at your LinkedIn and if you want some help, I have no problem doing that. I want to see SAS succeed. So if you do need help, just let me know and we'll go over it. But these are all the things that I'm a big proponent of the featured section also, but in order to have the featured section, you have to post. So you have to actually write something. So when I got my job offer, I announced it when I was part of this CSAF and when we competed in the CARE International Temple CTF social engineering competition. So anything that I do that's a big moment, I will write a post about. and then run it through Grammarly in case my grammar is not perfect. And then I will share and post it. So that way I can highlight it in my feature section. So if an employer sees it. But the main thing for you guys to do is just to keep in mind of your header. I will help you guys to make one. I know I still owe a couple of people theirs, but I just use an online site like Canva to create this. But your header, your picture, and this section is very key. So if you just start with those, that'll get you somewhere. And if you need help, please let me know. And yes, this is where I was talking about the editing your URL. So if you need any help whatsoever, please let me know. I'm here for you guys. So if you need any help, we'll definitely make sure you get the recording to this, as well as putting the slides in Slack. But if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen so I can keep an eye on chat because my monitor won't let me do that. All right. Yes. Did Microsoft reach out to you through LinkedIn? Yes, they reached out to me through LinkedIn. I only had 100 connections. I actually got into LinkedIn due to I took Business 3000, which is a class that most of us have to take. And Amos came. I think that person might still be here, but Amos gave a presentation about LinkedIn, and I only had like 100 connections, and I was taking the steps to follow it. And I kind of learned everything I can about LinkedIn. So yes. Oh yes, Amos is here. She's amazing. I learned a lot about LinkedIn through Amos. I also went and did some research. So I can attest her. She was kind of the reason why I started like going full force on it. Every job offer since I've been at Cal Poly and I've started using my LinkedIn has been through LinkedIn. I'm just really selective of who I want to work with. But yeah. So I've never had anyone reach out to me like cold calling or email. Any job offer I've had, it was through LinkedIn. We tailored Amber's resume, and then we posted all the stuff she was doing, and Tesla reached out to her because of her LinkedIn. So it's possible. Handshake's a really great tool. I definitely use Handshake. Oh yes, so like Johan's BlackRock, which is a cool company. I actually do know who they are, and Microsoft. From LinkedIn. So I'm a huge component of LinkedIn. I know people get scared of it because it's a lot going on, but don't be scared of it. Take it time. You're not gonna, be perfect overnight, but my goal is to just help you guys. And yes, utilize Handshake. I think you need it for the career fair on Thursday. So if you have it, create a LinkedIn, make a URL link. If you want me to look at it, I will. I'll get to as many as I can before Thursday for sure, but make sure you go ahead and put your resume or your LinkedIn link in your resume so that way people can see more, because your resume only does so much. Professor Chen taught me this. Your resume will get you the interview, but at the interview, you need to sell yourself. And I know a lot of recruiters who will look at my resume, go on my LinkedIn, and see what I'm about, because my LinkedIn shows a little bit more of my personality as my resume does not. My resume just gives you what you need to know. So if you have any questions, if you need anything, please let me know. We got about 10 minutes. Anyone have any thoughts or anything that they like to share? Let me know. You can unmute yourself or in the chat, either or. If you're talking, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I have a question, Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Christian here. Great presentation, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you.
My question relates to about messaging recruiters. I wanted to sort of get your thoughts on what that sort of entails, and if you've ever done it, and what was like the success rate on that.
Yes, absolutely. I have a class with you, so I'm aware of who you are. Yes, I have no shame in my game. I will reach out to a recruiter 110%. I've had a lot of luck. I think one recruiter, and that was from some like small consulting company. I forget their name. They didn't reach back to me, but I've been able to talk to recruiters from Microsoft, Accenture. I've talked to recruiters from JPL. I usually just, hi, my name. I just never ask them what I want from them. I usually start out by giving them a compliment, like, hey, hi, my name is Jacqueline. I see you're the recruiter for this company. I really love, and I usually go on their LinkedIn profile, do a little bit of social engineering, and this is where I'll say, okay, they talked about this presentation. I'll try to get a little bit of information. I give a compliment and then I wait. And then usually they respond back. They're like, oh, thank you so much. If there's anything I can do for you, please help. And then, or let me know. And I'm like, oh, actually, yes, I am looking to apply to this position. Do you have any tips? That's usually been my method. I'll see if I can write something up quick, remind me. I'll see if I can write something up, like a basic general thing that you can like customize. But yes, I have always reached out to recruiters because the worst thing they're going to do is not respond to you or not, or say no. And, you know, we have to get to use rejection. Like, I'm not afraid of someone saying no to me. It's just one more step for me to get a yes. But I've had a good success rate. I've reached out to so many recruiters I can't even count. But I would say I've had maybe an 80-20% success rate. So I think 80% of it has been like really well, and then 20% people have just not responded. Or if they do respond, they get back to me like way after the fact. But yes, I do think that you should reach out to recruiters, but give a compliment first and then have some back and forth. Because most recruiters don't like when you just ask something from them right away. So give a compliment, see what they say, and then reach out. But just be concise. And if you need help with that, you know how to find me. I will definitely help you. You're very welcome. Yes. And then try to make sure I read. Someone had a question. You guys are so welcome. Jason, how do you answer the question, where do you see yourself in 10 years? I imagine myself out of the company I said. Yeah, you don't say, if you're trying to leave a company, you don't say like, oh, in 10 years.
Say there's a turnover of 2 to 4 years on that job and limited upward mobility. You don't actually say you're leaving right away, right?
No, you don't. I've never done that. Anytime I left a job, I remember I left retail to like work full time in my like IT help desk, and my manager was like, why are you leaving? And I was like, I've had such a great time working with you. I've learned so much. I'm going to continue working on my education because I was still going to school then. But I'm just shifting gears, but I appreciate the time. Like, you never know when you're going to have to interact with these people again. So don't burn bridges. I'm a big proponent on that. So I always say, you know, I see myself like learning and growing and hopefully staying with your company. If you'll have me, like, I always skirt around the question, but I never say like, I plan on staying here for 2 to 5 years and then bouncing, because they won't hire you. So I just always keep it general. I look forward to learning as much as I can with your company and being the best asset that I can be for your company. I usually kind of like turn it around, if you see where I'm getting at. But there's so many ways to answer that question, but I can try to come up with some basics for you. Yeah, paying attention to yeah. Thank you guys so much. I'm trying to like make sure I don't yeah, like Amber said, I imagine myself as with Avanade, they're like, where do you want to be? And I'm like, I imagine myself as a consultant. I love seeing the solving solution through the lens of a customer. They love that. And they were like, oh wow, like we appreciate that. And just because I was a STEM scholar with them, I wasn't relying on that. I definitely wanted to make sure that I did my research when I applied to jobs. But you can be selective. Thank you. Yes. Jason, great. Yes, thank you. Yeah, they usually ask that question to see if your vision aligns with their corporate. I completely agree. Yes, 100%. So everyone, yeah, you're gonna work with someone sooner or later. So don't burn bridges. It's just better to be nice than to be rude. And if you get stuck or you guys need any help, please let me know. I'm here for you. The eBoard's here for you. FAFSA is here for you. So no matter if you're a part of FAFSA or not, reach out. I'll definitely help you the best I can. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, Amber's manager from Tesla knows Dr. Pike. So yeah, everyone knows everyone. Even being an Avanade, there are a lot of people that I didn't realize I knew, and everyone's like, oh, I know, like Professor Chin knows Barbet knows Professor Chin, like everyone knows everyone. So it's just better to be nice. Don't try to like spite hate. It's just not It's not great, so don't do it. But thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. I love doing this workshop. It's something that I'm really passionate about. And if you need anything, just let us know. But I know some of you guys have 1 o'clock classes. So if you have class, you're more than welcome to bounce. If you have questions, we can hang out for a little bit. But thank you so much for attending. I appreciate you guys so, so, so much.